Alright, so word on the street is Jon Jones and Stipe Miocic are in the talks of fighting each other by the end of the year? I don't know, people. I don't know. Is that a stretch? That might be a little stretch. But if this is going to actually happen, then I have a bunch of questions that come to mind. A bunch. First of all, this is happening in Vegas. Okay, people? We already know how John and Vegas mix. Like water and vinegar, okay? Mix like, what else mixes bad? I don't know. Gravy and ice cream. That's not a great mix, right? So that just comes to mind. That just comes to mind first. And then, neither one of these gentlemen have been very active. Neither one. I think the last time John fought was what? In 2020 against Dominic Reyes. That was his last fight, right? Yeah, 2020. Dominic Reyes at UFC 247. Okay? The last time Stipe fought was in 2021, March. And he lost to Francis Ngannou. So neither one of these men have been extremely active. And then another question that really pokes its head out is that John is moving up a weight class. Now, people, we have seen fighters move up weight classes, move down weight classes. And in this case in particular, John is moving up a weight class. Now, this might sound insane to you, but we've all seen that sometimes power and things of that nature, sometimes a frame just doesn't move correctly. It doesn't move optimally when you move up a weight class. For a prime example, Max Holloway. I believe Max Holloway is one of, if not the greatest featherweights of all time. Like it's pretty much almost, if somebody were to come up to me and ask me, who do you think is the greatest featherweight of all time? I'd probably hesitate and probably say Aldo first, Max Holloway, and I mean Volkanovski is showing his face now. But those would be the three arguables. But now you take Max Holloway, that I believe is the greatest 145, and then you move him up to 155, and I think we'd be singing a different story. I really do. And so I feel like John's case could be the same, to where John is the greatest light heavyweight of all time, but John isn't known to carry power very well. Now, granted, in John's defense, he doesn't really rely off power in his technique. But if you're going to move up a weight class, and that weight class is heavyweight, you're going to need some power. Because you look at Stipe, and Stipe has been very undermined lately when it comes to his power. And I think it's because he's been fighting people like Francis Ngannou, where it's just been like, it's just freakish power. It's freakish power. But Stipe still has enough to turn your lights out. He is a true heavyweight hitter. John, on the other hand, I don't believe so. I don't believe that he was known to be a power puncher in the light heavyweight class. And I think even when you add muscle and you add weight onto John, I still don't think when it comes to the heavyweight division he will be a power puncher. So he's going to have to be able to adapt to that in a way, right? Because he's going to be dealing with people who hit harder. You're not dealing with Dominic Reyes. You're not dealing with Alexander Gustafsson. If you get into an all-out war with Stipe the way that you did with Alexander Gustafsson, I don't know. I don't know if things would turn out the same. What do you guys think? Comment down below. Do you think if the fight between Alexander Gustafsson and Jon Jones, and then the fight, if this happens, between Jon Jones and Stipe go very similarly, do you feel that the results will be the same? I think that's a very strong argument. I really do. And so, from what I've been seeing from John in the last 2 years is not only him getting in trouble, but he's also been packing on weight, been doing a lot of powerlifting and weightlifting and really packing on muscle. And so we're going to see how that translates. And I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, that does not always translate the best. Now, if these gentlemen happen to fight in December, at the end of the year, who would I have winning? I would probably have to go with Stipe. And I know that sounds crazy because we're talking about the greatest light heavyweight of all time, but we're also talking about the greatest light heavyweight of all time who hasn't fought in 2 years, who will be fighting with a completely different frame, who will be going against a completely different weight class, and he will be met against Stipe. He will also be met with a Stipe who is coming off of a loss, so he's not going to want to lose again, especially to the likes of a light heavyweight moving up. I think the odds are all against Jon Jones. And so right now in the media, they're saying that Stipe, they're just waiting on Stipe to sign on the dot, to agree to the fight, or that they're having confusion at the moment. Jon Jones is ready. He is set. And so we'll see how this all plays out. But I think this is a very, very interesting time because it's rare that, it's not even rare, we've never seen either one of these gentlemen in this kind of position.